Welcome to the fourth and final segment of our kickoff podcast for the Honesty Project on annoying coworkers. We hope you find this valuable. We look forward to your feedback. Really would love to have your comments. And please thumbs up if you liked it. And if you really liked it, give us a subscribe. Thank you so much. Enjoy the final segment on annoying coworkers. Now you take this model, the idea of this model, little me land, thoughts that don't serve me, authentic me, below the line, thoughts that serve me, stories that serve me. And your whole goal is to get them to go down to that place. There's so many different ways that we can do it, but when they see, and this is the part that's I think is super hard, is not going up there into little me land with them, or at least always being below where they are, like a pull down, even though they may be, you're both kind of frustrated and pissed off with each other. If you can help them and you can be below as emotional as they are, that helps too. But over time, what happens is somebody's going to build trust with you, or they're not and they need to go away. But if somebody starts to build trust with you, then what happens is you have that ability to bring them down below the line over time. And so I think that the most important thing to be thinking about in regards to the model is it gives me a way to understand where I am and to understand where you are, and a goal of getting them below that line, and in a way that they can hear and that I can feel like I'm not, pushing my feelings down. Like, I think it's important to say, this is really, internally, this is really frustrating for me, but I know that my goal is to get them back to an authentic place. And sometimes it works. I think most of the time it works, and sometimes it doesn't.
Okay. All right. I think that you've given me some tools to start with on my current situation.
Yeah. And that's the thing is, when I have that in my mind, now I've got something, because so many people want to say, oh, I either want to go ahead and bitch slap them, or I need to stuff my feelings and put up with it. Mm-hmm. And neither of those are stories that serve us.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, in this particular case, both of these women came out of the gate with you are wrong and I am right.
Right.
And it is going to be my way, not your way, mm-hmm. Which is them's fighting words, right?
Yeah. Them's but now okay, they're in little middle land.
Yeah.
Now the question is, are there things that I can do to help to get them? And the reason I do a funnel, let me see if I can show you this real quick, is that the other thing that people forget is that the emotion above the line, the further up I go, the crazier it gets on both sides, positive or negative. And when I come down below that line to stories that serve me, I still am frustrated. I can still be upset, but I have a way to kind of frame it up. So do you see this?
I do.
So the issue is people are far more emotional above the line. These are stories that don't serve me. These are stories that do serve me. And as I come down, there's less emotion and there's more meaning. It just feels better. Not great necessarily. And I still may be on the negative side. Both of us may be on the negative side, but we're frustrated with each other and we feel like there's a way to solve it. You with me? Versus just above the line, they're like, this is pointless. This is always going to be a problem.
So what I hear is that the first time somebody comes out of the gate attacking you, mm-hmm. It is difficult because you're caught off guard, and immediately, like I said, I go into my fight response. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to create a practice where I give myself a little bit of space to think about that person and why they're on the attack, which usually has nothing to do with me and a lot to do with them, right?
Yep.
And my job is to make sure that I am now working to create that gap. so that I don't immediately respond in the same manner they are, because guess what? I'm just as good at telling them that I'm right.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you're like everybody else on the planet?
Oh, I'm worse.
Well,
I'm an excellent example of bad behavior.
But isn't it fascinating? And here's something that I just loved. You know that, don't you?
I do.
And you know what? Just being honest about that, and that I recognize that I can go to a place that either strengthens their resolve and their negativity and their combativeness, or now I have an understanding that even though, and this is why I say emotions are indicators and not facts, because you know now, in no uncertain terms, it ain't going to be easy and it's going to take practice, that I can change how I see this and feel about it emotionally. And if I'm lucky and they're lucky, they can be the beneficiary of that as well. And that I'm creating an environment. And this is like, to me, the basis of leadership. My whole focus as a leader is to get people below that line. First and foremost, I don't care about anything else until I've got them or am in the process of getting them to a more authentic place more of the time. Understanding that it's going to take time, and is the trade-off, like for this person that we've been talking about, the trade-off might not be worth a quarter or 3 months. For somebody else, it might be worth 6 or 9 months. Mm-hmm. And some even longer, but it's usually because, and the thing to keep in mind also is people are bouncing up and down, up above and below the line all the time, mm-hmm. right? Mm-hmm. And there are certain things that trigger us, right? Mm-hmm. And it usually is from something that's happened in our past that really, that triggers that emotion and triggers, all of a sudden we go from this much space to, and I'm just responding without thinking, right?
Yep.
And then I go after, I'm like, oh, I really blew that one, right? It makes me feel so crappy that I don't have more control, but I'm practicing on it.
Yeah. Well, this has been really good. And it felt like, it felt good to get that off my chest and talk to you about it. And I think that I'd love our next conversation to be about ways to help me start that practice of me becoming a more authentic person, because I have a feeling that that's going to be the start of helping other people be more authentic when they come into my sphere and are behaving badly. And I want to throw this out there, but there's also an odd aspect of bad behavior, and that is that there's a certain level of excitement that happens. I might, at the end of the day, come home to my family and spend more time telling them about the crap that happened.
You bet.
With an excited voice, a slightly flushed demeanor, and I don't spend that much time on the wins. I'm a little embarrassed about that. So I'd love to have some of our next conversations be a little bit about that.
I would love that, because, one of the things that's really, really compelling is being in Little Me Land. I mean, if you're in it and you are dialed into it in a big way, it's powerful, powerful stuff. It doesn't serve you. You don't feel good in the long run about it. But man, oh man, we both know there are tons of people that live there and love it. And I wouldn't want to be that person for the life of me, but it's also knowing that there are things that you can do to practice. So yes, I would love to do that.
Great.
You're not as bad as you think you are. You got way more potential than you're giving yourself credit for. And hopefully that person does too. And if that's the number one thing that you walk away with, I want to create an environment where this person can be real with me. And I may have to get there through humor. I may have to get there through some group meetings with the boss. I don't know what that's going to look like, but if my goal is for that person to be authentic with me, oh, what a game changer, right? And that's the thing, is that what we begin to realize is even though it's really powerful being up in negative little me land, it's way more powerful and way more fulfilling and way more meaningful when I can create that environment for myself, for my kids, for my wife, for my coworkers, my vendors. And when that's where I begin to operate from. And I know that it's there. You know that it's there. You know that there's nothing that I've said to you that's like, oh, you just got to be tougher. You just got, no, it's just who we are. And we're going to practice ourselves into a place that we find more meaning. That's huge, just right there.
Thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed it. Again, we really want your feedback. If you liked it, give us a thumbs up. And if you really liked it, go ahead and subscribe. And we'll see you on the next podcast of The Honesty Project. Take care.